Hello again. The mind and body link. I just want to talk briefly about how our mind affects our body and also how our body affects our mind. Now, up until probably about 20-25 years ago, it was generally believed and generally considered certainly in the medical profession and the general scientific community, that the mind and the body were very, very separate things, very separate entities. We now know through countless pieces of research and studies that actually nothing could be further from the truth. The fact is that our mind and our body are incredibly closely connected, so that our thoughts, including those thoughts that we're not really consciously aware of, so the real sort of deeper thoughts, have and can have a profound effect on our body, but also that our body has an effect on our thinking and also on our feelings. It's becoming more and more accepted now and generally recognised now that stress, for example, is a major factor in illnesses and disease, not only in terms of triggering certain illnesses and diseases, but also in terms of weakening the immune system. Now, if this is an area that you're particularly interested in, so in other words, how our thoughts, how our thinking can affect our body and how you can use this in a positive way, there's an excellent book by David Hamilton called How Your Mind Can Heal Your Body, which describes many studies that have been done over the last 10-15 years that shows the incredible effects of thinking and imagination on the body, and as I say, how it can be used for good, for positive benefit. But it works the other way around as well, because our body, our physiology, can affect our thinking and hence our feelings. One of the best examples of that would be with regards to breathing. When a person becomes stressed, one of the things that tends to happen is breathing tends to become quite shallow. And what I mean by that is we start to breathe up here using essentially the top part of the lungs. So the bottom part of the lungs don't really get as much use as they're supposed to, as they're designed to. And one of the effects of that is that the balance between oxygen and carbon dioxide in the lungs, and hence in our bloodstream, becomes incorrect. We have the wrong balance, which goes on to affect our whole body chemistry and creates yet more stress. So we're now in a vicious circle of feeling stressed, and that stress can build and build and build. Now, the simple act of taking 2 or 3 deep breaths, and by a deep breath I mean purposely expanding the abdominal muscles. The simple act of taking just a few deep breaths can very quickly restore that balance in our lungs throughout our bodies, so that 2 or 3 deep breaths we can feel much more relaxed. So maybe like to practice this now. Just focus on your abdomen and your stomach, and with each in-breath I want you to purposely expand your abdomen so that you're taking that air deep down into your lungs. So just expand your abdomen. And if you were to do that for 2, 3, 4 breaths, it's very soothing and very calming and very relaxing. Now, if you could get into the habit of doing this every day, maybe every morning, maybe also every evening, one of the things that will happen is it will lower your stress baseline. And what I mean by stress baseline is if you were to imagine a bucket, and it's half, and let's say it's nearly full of water, okay? So you've got a bucket, it's nearly full of water, and you start pouring more water into it, it will quickly overflow. If you've got only that much water in it, so it's less than half full, maybe not even a quarter full, you've got to pour an awful lot more in for it to overflow. So doing simple breathing exercises like this on a regular basis, on a daily basis, lowers that level. So that then when something happens, when something kicks off that might previously have caused you to get really stressed or maybe even anxious, it's much more manageable. You can contain it much more easily. And of course you can do some breathing, deep breathing, when that stress starts to build as well. So you can quickly reduce it. You can dramatically reduce that stress. And that's the effect of the body on the mind. Another area is in terms of posture. People who worry a lot, and some people who worry a great deal can end up with conditions such as depression. So people who become depressed, people who worry a lot, people who just have a lot of negative self-talk tend to have a very sort of collapsed kind of body language, shoulders down, head down, eyes down, looking down quite a lot of the time. And when you're in this posture, it's dead easy to beat yourself up. It's dead easy to have that negative self-talk. Whereas the simple act of looking up and keeping the eyes on a horizontal or maybe even slightly higher than a horizontal, and just having a more open sort of posture. So shoulders back, not forcing them back, but just having the shoulders a little bit back and put it in a nice relaxed sort of way. One of the things it does, it kind of opens up our breathing as well, so it helps with the breathing, but it's just so much more difficult to beat yourself up and have that negative self-talk when you're keeping your head up, when you're keeping your eyes up. So posture, head position, massively important in how we think and how we feel. In the next module, we're going to be looking at, we're going to be going back to the main topic of the course, which is hypnosis and hypnotherapy, and we're going to have a look at hypnotic suggestions and the difference between direct and indirect hypnosis. So I'll be back again soon. Okay, bye.